For 70 years, the Corvette has been known as America's sports car. The mid-engine, the long hood sports car was what every red-blooded American dreamed of owning. Heck, even Joan Didion loved a Corvette. The Corvette is dipping its toes into the future with the electrified E-Ray. We're here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, where the Corvette is made and the first ever E-Ray is rolling off the production line. Let's go in and check it out. Corvette here has been built since 1981, starting with the C4 in earnest and then continuing on through the C8 and even the E-Ray. At this stage of the process, the cars have been married in the back just down the line, where basically the chassis has met the undercarriage, which contains the drivetrain, the powertrain, and also the battery gets installed back there for the E-Ray. These cars are almost complete. They need some finishing work done, need some wheels, and they need to go through inspections, and then sort of the safety tests and things like that, and then they're out for delivery for their customers. Let's get more on the E-Ray and the start of production here in Bowling Green with the man in charge, GM's General Assembly Future Product Lead, Andrew Keltner, who's standing behind the first ever E-Ray off the line, VIN number 1.
Corvette's good at rear-wheel drive. We've always done it. All of our tooling in the plant set up so that way all your driveline components, everything assembled to perfection in the rear. So we've had to actually shift our manufacturing process to now cover both the front and rear, right? You got driveline in the front with the electric motor, separately from the driveline in the rear with that V8 engine. So really a challenge for us setting that up. The dream of the C8 always included the E-Ray in some form or fashion. So the package space that the product engineers provided, it was there. Just like with the product engineering being available, we tuned our manufacturing space to better position us in the future. So we created holes in the assembly line for our tools to load that 300-volt battery up into the car. So a lot of things we took into consideration with the C8, knowing the future was coming with that all-wheel drive electric.
And here it is, the E-Ray, the first ever Corvette with front-wheel drive powered by an electric motor. Now this motor paired with the V8 in the back gives this car over 650 horsepower, making it the quickest Vette yet, capable of a 0 to 60 time of 2.5 seconds. The E-Ray's all-wheel drive system means this is a Corvette for all seasons, including winter. Engineers tested the car in the mountains of Colorado with the E-Ray powering through. The 1.9 kilowatt-hour battery in the E-Ray is small, but it does have the ability to discharge a lot of energy and recharge itself fairly quickly, more so than normal hybrids. The battery is also capable of giving the car around 3 to 4 miles of range, which doesn't sound like much, but it is helpful in cities where emissions are banned. All right, behind the wheel of the E-Ray, the Corvette E-Ray hybrid. And let me tell you, I have driven a regular Corvette C8 before. The first impression of this car is that it just feels like it's driving on rails with that, because of that motor in the front, giving this car all-wheel drive. It just seems like there's an immediacy to turn in. It feels like the car is on rails. It has a, the car has the ability with software to give you the best traction with the all-wheel drive system because of the fact that it's got a motor in the front, electric motor, and it's got a gas power, the V8, 6.2 liter in the back. That's just giving you all that rocket power. I'm in sports mode here, sport mode here. Immediately, 2.5 second 0 to 60 time. That is no joke. That is no joke. I mean, listen to that. It is just unreal. For many fans, the history of the car is what appeals to them. So to really understand the Corvette story and where the E-Ray is taking America's sports car, we need to see where it all started 70 years ago at the National Corvette Museum.
It was revealed in GM's Motorama, a big car show with a lot of concept vehicles in January of 1953 as the Corvette. And it caused a sensation when it was initially revealed, had all the looks and styling of a sports car. And one of the folks who was in the crowd at Motorama for the Corvette's reveal was Zora Arkus Duntov, who was a racer turned engineer who went to work for GM shortly after the Corvette's reveal. and he was the one who really turned it into a performance car. He led the way in convincing GM to make this a car that appealed to not just people who wanted to cruise the boulevard, but also race it. I think the reason that people really, love this car and want to drive this car is because it represents what we love about driving. The speed and the performance. Our big thing here at the museum is to tell the story about Corvette's history, educate people on the evolution of the car, and we're really happy to see that evolution continuing with electrification and bringing on that next chapter of Corvette's history.
But the Corvette E-Ray isn't the only hybrid sports car on the road. There are cars in the space that operate in the hybrid supercar space. The McLaren Artura is one. The Ferrari 296. I mean, that car is just a world beater, that 296. Those cars are great, but they're actually, I would say, almost twice as much money as this car. So you have to ask yourself, is there true competition? This car starts at about $105,000, and this trim about $115,000. The only car that comes somewhat close is the Acura NSX hybrid, and that car is also a mild hybrid, meaning you don't have to plug it in. That car got discontinued. Acura discontinued that car. It's not going to happen. On the track, on the road, and even snowy mountain passes, the Corvette with the E-Ray is now a car for all seasons. And with electrification now upon us, who knows what the next 70 years of Corvette will have in store. Yeah, I think a lot of Corvette fans would consider electrification a dirty word, but at least with my drive with that car, it just seemed unbelievable in terms of the power that it produced, and then sort of with the front-wheel drive electric motors, you can just turn. It's just unbelievable on rails for me.
So, Bryce, do you think that, it sounds like you think this is going to be a huge hit, I would guess, just among Corvette lovers in terms of, I think the fact that maybe initially, like you said, when people think of a car like Corvette, they wouldn't initially think that, hey, people would be right off the bat embracing the fact that it is electrified, or it's a hybrid, at least at this point. That doesn't seem to be a roadblock at all, at least in your view, right?
No, because they're still going to have the base Corvette, they'll have the Z06 high-end performance one, and then in that middle they have the hybrid where it's like, hey, I live in Michigan or Illinois or Pennsylvania, and I want a car that I can drive in the winter, and that car comes in all-season tires. So it's just a Corvette for all seasons. It's a different performance kind of equation for that car, and I think that it's just the future of this 70-year-old car, right? I mean,
you looked good driving it too. It looked like it rode pretty smoothly.
I know. If I had the money, maybe that'd be mine.